Okay, today is July the 30th, 2018. I am right here at the bus station, and I do have a video, actually not audio recording, of two individuals that questioned about ticket to Belgrade, how to get to Belgrade. The thing about it is that it's all nice and beautiful, but according to the MKULTRA scenario, we are completely exact about all this. What you see right there in the background is actually a hospital that have insisted in placing me inside of the mental hospital. What you see on that side of the hill under is what I was told under MKULTRA, that one of those houses actually belongs to Vesna Schwab. I don't know how much this is true or not, but what we're going to do is we're going to go and one day we're going to investigate. Definitely I have not searched for her residence. This is what they have insisted on when they did brought me to this station here. Also interesting, before I stopped by here was an individual at the bus station, actually at the train station prior to the one that you see over there. That's actually the Kandia train station, and then you had another train station, Berlin, it's called Berlin, who appeared. I'm not going to say only that he appeared, but under MKULTRA this very individual insisted that he is a son of an individual who gave me documents, National Liberation Front, Osvobodilna Fronta document. Both of these people were involved in it. He certainly does look like one, but you know, it's a little bit tough to say anything just yet, and there's a little bit more we have to learn about all that stuff. Then we're gonna be capable to confirm what exactly is going on. Yes, they did go as far as doing this kind of stuff. We are still going according to scenario. Also, according to MKULTRA scenario, individual would give me the wrong timing for Ljubljana in respect to the train. I'm not really sure, but I don't think that he stated 9:30. Right here they have stated to me at 9:30 is going to Ljubljana, but I do have an audio recording hopefully, and we'll be able to investigate that kind of stuff as well. So this should be definitely interesting. Okay, I will tell you exactly what happened that day. I wasn't going to give you account about all this stuff, but I did come up with the idea that I can actually expose MKULTRA through the proofs I have not thought about before. Okay, on the day of my departure from the city of the Novo Mesto, for obvious reasons, I was faced with heavy MKULTRA issues. Some, since I don't have actual proofs for them, I will not even go into, but others for which proofs I have, I will discuss right now. Now, the billboard that suggested straight connection between city of the Novo Mesto and Belgrade already existed in 2005-2006 on a central bus station in the city of the Novo Mesto where I am from. That's because we have a lot of Serbian, mixed Slovenian-Serbian people in the city of the Novo Mesto that just go visit Belgrade and so on and so forth, or they have relatives coming to the city of the Novo Mesto. Okay, that's one thing. I'm going to use that. In respect to Vesna Schwab, psychiatrist Vesna Schwab involved in MKULTRA torture, residence house, as far as I remember, they told me she has a house, and then arguments, fight broke between her and a staff members, of which one was American and gestured that actually she has a house on the hill. Then the story changed that she has right on the location that I have pointed out. Then story changed that she has a house on the other side of the hill, but in this area. And then the story changed that she has a house along the rail, but in this area of the city, okay, in this vicinity. Now, I don't know where her house exactly is, but if her house is actually located in this area, that's already a second proof in respect to this very MKUltra. Before I arrived at the central bus station city of Novo Mesto that day, let me tell you, it was a hot summer day. I changed probably 2 shirts that day just on a bus station, just standing over there. And it's important fact because there were 2 Serbs that would come on a bus station that also participated along with Borut Pahor, President now Borut Pahor of Slovenia, and many others under MKUltra have anticipated how I will be pushed out of Slovenia yet again and will go straight to Slovakia, of course. Where am I gonna go? Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Poland. That's all I had left. So it wasn't a difficult thing. Had a car, diesel Volkswagen Passat, running over there, where I stood up for like 2 hours. They ran that car on a summer day in the sun, like for 30 minutes, and asking me how to get to Belgrade, because I was told if you go to Belgrade, if you're going to talk against Serbs, if you're going to disclose what we did to you, this is what I was told under MKUltra in 2005. If you're going to disclose what we have done to you, if you're going to talk about what we have done to you, and so on and so forth, you're going to get to Slovakia. And there were Slovakian people that gestured, you get here, apply for political asylum, we're going to load you in a car in Belgrade. You're going to talk to Alexander Vucic, president of Serbia. Then when you have all clear things out, then you will proceed. We will not help you out until you clear with them and stuff like that. This is how it was. So it was like a maximum pressure. Do not say anything. Do not talk about it. And there was another way. I was also told on the other side there is a hospital. Also was explained on MKUltra, and you will do the mistake anyway, and you will do the mistake anyway. You know, there is no such thing as a mistake here, because these people wanted to obtain some sort of proof, frustration, you know, based on frustration, based on everything they have done. That you would go and you would lash out on them or something like this, because you're basically living your own country because of them, and they do the stuff like this under MKUltra to you on the day, which will repeat in the day of your departure. This is how twisted MKUltra is. You're definitely gonna go out and you're gonna lash at them because they're Serbs and stuff like this. But there was no such thing they have anticipated. And naughty have suggested on how they're gonna video record me and stuff, which I bet they did. And then they would use this kind of stuff to present this to, I don't know, to other governments, Polish, Slovak, or maybe Czech, I don't know whom, maybe international community. I don't know how I probably hate Serbian people, how I am a Serbophobe or something like this. In that sense, this is what the idea, this is what very idea was about this. Now, of course, they failed. Now, before I got to this location, to the central bus location, I have to tell you what happened also. That was also great. The member of National Resistance, the member of National Front, actually he's a president of this resistance front in part of the city. Very awesome guy, actually. Really nice person. I hope I didn't put him in trouble now. He is, I think, half Serb or Serb, I don't know what he is. He will resent me right now because of what I said, but to me, I don't actually have issues with the Serbian people. I have the issues with the politics. to me, it's no difference between Slovenian and Serbian. The problem is when politics that are happening today in Russia and in Serbia are really breaking entire Slavic society, worlds apart. And I don't think he would actually resent me because this man is like probably I would say like-minded like myself. Okay, he gave me the membership in a national resistance in a national front of Slovenia. This is like liberation front that partisans associated organization. Um, if it wasn't for partisans, it wouldn't be no Slovenia. So when you say you're Slovenian, you have to keep in mind already half of Slovenia already was gone under the Italy. Hungarians had a good portion of it, and Germans too. So when you say you're Slovenian, think about who liberated Slovenia. So that's all I have to say in respect to that kind of stuff. Now, he is also very critical toward the organization itself. He's critical towards certain views. He does not want radical views. He went through hell himself. It was very difficult for him. Man who basically is coming from family that completely have obligated himself to the people of Slovenia, but who have paid, regardless of past and everything, he paid enormous price because the system was so, Yugoslav system was so, after the World War II, it was not really much common sense. They would punish everybody, and it didn't matter really who was punished, whatever. Uh, I'm not going to go into issues about him because there's just too many, but it was really good talking to him and so on and so forth. Never mind, the same day, he was involved in MKUltra. He can say no, 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 whatever, but he was involved, and it doesn't matter. That's a good thing for him, actually. I like him. His son, if is to believe him, and if is to believe what I believe actually is his son, because it just looks like father, I will tell you that. Told me uh, on a central rail station in the city of the Novo Mesto, Bršlin rail station. He is employee of rail system, national Slovenian rail system in Slovenia. Okay, there you have. This is yet what is now third, fourth, another proof about MKUltra, folks. You think I walk around the city and I just look at the people and I know who they are, what kind of professions they have, and stuff like this. The same thing like I did here in Poland. I found 2 psychologists that were involved in MKUltra. I don't read people's minds. I don't know. Officially, we never have spoken with these people. So no way would I know who these people are if they were not involved in MKUltra. Just like this individual, um, if it's to believe him, if it's to believe his father, that actually was his son, and he's employed, like I said, at the rail station in the city of Novo Mesto. He gives out tickets. Told me that I don't know, train is gonna come. I don't know, sometimes at 11 o'clock, something like that. Definitely not a good issue for me. That's why I proceeded to the bus station. Okay, but this is what happened that same day. There's a lot of other stuff MKUltra they have exercised. A load of the stuff they have exercised, but I don't actually have, if I don't have the proofs for it, I'm just not gonna say. So whatever you see I'm talking about is because I stand behind physical proofs. Now in the past, a lot of stuff like this I let go because I didn't know how to really use it. But since I got here to Poland, it got to me that actually the knowledge about MKUltra I uh, have a direct proofs. I did not film, I did not video record myself under MKUltra, but about the stuff like this, that I know cities, that I know people, I know their professions and stuff, and officially we have not spoken, and officially I have not been here, and officially I have never wasn't this cities and so on, and forests. These actually are proofs about MKUltra, a person knows. Okay, so this is how we do it now. So here's the individual I have spoken you about, and his son looks just like this, and his name is Mr. Stepanovich. Okay, so just for your information, I'm not making these things up. Regarding the pressure that I would not go and talk about, what they have done to me, that's just like stupid, I think. Actually, Putin insisted that it would be Russians who would give me a physical video audio proofs about MKUltra, this and that. But it was like, not that we will help you, we will do this, so why? So we can look like we give it to you, this and that, and then what? And then what? To depict me in a light that, in a negative light, like I have, I will not change my views in absolutely any way. And that's why I stated that if you don't see yourself in me, if you don't stand for the same values, if you think you're going to give me something and you're going to use that in the future to throw me forward, that you did not know how I am or what I am and this and that, I have made myself very clear about who and what I am. Please do not. If you think that my views are correct views, that we need democracy, that we need friendliness, brotherhood amongst us, especially Slavic people, not tanks facing us right across the border, across the hills, pointing at us with rifles and so on, attacking us at any time, then go ahead and please help me out. You're welcome. I think democracy, friendliness, brotherhood is the way to go, not wars. Nobody's doing that kind of stuff. Russia should be ashamed of itself like this. Russia should be US #2, just like it is for the Germans, Brits, French, and Scandinavian and other people, promised land. This is what Russia should be for us Slavs. But it's not playing that kind of role. It's playing a controlling freak maniac that is pointing at us with rifle and is about to run us over at just about any time. Of course, I cannot agree with this kind of stuff, and I'm going to stand up against that. That's all I wanted to say in respect to the beginning of this MKUltra, beginning of the trip, and this MKUltra situation before I even departed Slovenia.
The trip took me with train from Novo Mesto to Ljubljana and then to Hungary. Exactly what you see was presented to me on the MKUltra would be the case. And if you look a little bit more closely, this thing here, it's just a light, but I was told this would be like a trip where you would be like totally shielded by Mossad. You would be like with no money, but everything they would provide for you wherever you would go. It would be like easy way for you to go, and so on and so forth. And what you see right there is a light that was on in that cabin in which I was all night long. In the morning when I did not even woke up because I couldn't sleep. This is what I stared at entire night. Again, there were familiar faces from Israel all around me. I didn't mind. I don't mind these people at all. But, from the Budapest, I continued, from Hungary, from the Budapest, I continued to Bratislava. In Bratislava, I have found myself in a really strange situation, as you know. They loved me so much, they just wanted to put me inside of a quarantine. Now, I already was in some sort of quarantine. I know this is not the same thing, but being in a psychiatric ward for almost 2 years, being tortured over there to death, uh, almost died on several occasions, suffered inside in a closed apartment at the time. Even they had me locked for 9 months. That left on me like serious, severe bruises. And here in Poland, I have heard stories from these guys here that they were locked like in type of quarantine, which gave them also ability, I think, to even visit cities, something like this, local cities, something like this, for like 6 months. Let me tell you something, I would not want to be locked anymore, not even for a single second. Besides of what happened to me over there in Bratislava, in the city of Humeno, that is an eastern part of Slovakia, where beautiful Tatars are. Beautiful, gorgeous place to go on vacations, folks. If you ever want to go to a beautiful place, then you can't miss. Slovakia is so beautiful. Anyways, I made a determination to get out of there no matter what, no matter how beautiful everything. I just wanted to get out of there. I would not want to spend really not a single second anymore inside a quarantine. Interesting, in the city of the Humana, quite a large population of Serbian people, whom I don't mind at all, but question again is, what did Vučić, now Chetnik Vučić, president now in Serbia, what did he interpreted to these people about me? What did he say? It was like, it made me feel like it made me feel like the city was like, not the city, but certain category of the population. And this is a big problem. This is really, really a problem for the whole Serbia right now, because of the very, very radical views that people have over there. It felt like the city was relieved when I left, because my genocide complaint against, well, it really depends how you want to see that as, but if a Jew would complain against neo-Nazi Germany after World War II, I think this would be just completely okay. It would be legitimate. It would be right, because the Germans did not stop it. I'm just going to put it this way. And the same thing, the same way is basically how I see today's Serbia. It's not okay what's happening over there. From there, I proceeded to beautiful Poland with a target on my mind. Just go to Novi Turk. I did not. They wanted me to go to Zakopane, but no, I just wanted to go to Novi Turk. Novi Turk is like, I would reach out into my own pockets in my pants. This is how much I know certain parts of the Novi Turk, and what I had in my mind was just to go and just to record whatever is left, wherever I memorize under MKUltra. And it did paid off. This is how it started. This is how I got to Poland. All the way to the city Humana from Bratislava and from Budapest. I did go with a train and bus from city Humana. However, I proceeded with hitchhiking, auto-stopping, like we say in Slovenia. This is how I got into Poland and back and forth, maybe twice, maybe if I took like a regional, local bus from Novi Turk to Zakopane, that was about it. Then all that stuff was auto-stopping, which, except for one occasion, that was Polish, okay, all was provided by Mossad and KGB, and it didn't matter where I slept, whether I slept in a forest or I didn't get sleep at all and I moved to whatever location. It would always, whenever I would hitchhike, it would always be just as I have stated, no matter what. In Slovakia, very, very unpleasant memories revealed to me from under MKUltra. In Slovakia, Bratislava, yeah, okay, but in city of the Humene, this was toward the end of the MKUltra, it became so clearly evident, obvious, whom am I dealing with? All that stuff, how somebody's going to shield me and provide for me, it started to get extremely obnoxious. It became repulsive to me, and I got really, really upset, not only with Netanyahu, but really foremost with his niece. I became disgusted with this type of ideology. I became disgusted with ideology that somebody would go and con and me, and Poland actually wanted to create an idea about me as per being persecuted by almost all European nations and have finally found peace in state of Israel, which is total a lie, total BS is what it is. It was the Israel that used all the connections possible to block me from international court, from European court. It was Israel that, it was Netanyahu who wanted to earn money, not only earn money through to me, who would be used to push forward human rights to make money, but would teach me to live like a dog life, and at the same time, he went and he pushed his ideas, totally crazy, insane ideas to Eastern European politicians foremost, because Westerners, they knew it, but to the Eastern Europeans, like, oh wow, how you have to treat, how you're supposed to treat women and this and that, and went really, really into extreme. Took his advisory committee, which always accompanied him, literally to the forests or where the streams were, and that's where he would go and consent with them about the business, about all kinds of affairs, with excuse that it is cheaper, not excuses it is cheaper, but with excuses it is safer, better, more confidential, like this, and nobody listens, sees them, and stuff like that. And at the same time would station his women into hotels. They would do shopping and stuff like this, and gesture me on how this is how we men supposed to be like that, and how this is cheaper and stuff like that. Really, really, really a sick dude. Then the worst option popped up in his crazy head. That was the option of me becoming, not only marrying his niece, but me becoming king of the Israel. He referred to that as idea, the craziest idea, that he would have me go to Syria and massacre Syrian people over there. Nobody could do anything to me because of what Europeans have done to me, because of what European courts, because of what political asylums were denied to me and stuff like that. So he became. So I would obtain some sort of excuse that would be impenetrable from international community. They could not do to me anything because of what they have done to me in the past. So, beyond sick, beyond sickening, why do you need money, was in the last from Netanyahu. You can become king and you will be historically known, and if you get the money, nobody will ever know anything about you. And we can do all this also in Christian Poland. What a blow that would be to a Poland, to a Christian world, and so on and so forth. And because Christians claim that it was Jews that sold Jesus, what a blow that would be when we would do this, and we would, you would be seen as a Jesus, and it would be proven that actually Christians treated Jesus like this, and so on and so forth. Guy is a fucking mess. Excuse me, I'm not going to use beep sound here. Guy is a wacko. And as far as the niece, yeah, it's okay to use electronic direct energy weapons on you. First, it was from Sarah Netanyahu. I asked them to do this for us because you were not nice to our people. And then the same thing was repeated to me by Denise, that it is okay like this. Okay, so if it's okay to cause brain tumors, if it's okay to play with shit like this, if it's okay for the individual to sleep inside of the forests and bath himself in the streams, and it's also okay for me to say, fuck you over there in Israel. That's all I gotta say in respect to this. In respect to position in Israel, I'm just gonna put it this way. This would be okay for me, this would be great for me, but for his children, for his two sons, that would not actually be a good thing. What they would do is, for them, it would be a money and control of me from behind the curtain. Let me explain something. The politicians have stolen not only in State of Israel, but it's also in the U.S. and across the Europe. We're dealing with politicians that presidents, prime ministers, and so on do not serve people at all. They serve their own interests, and that's basically corruption. That's the main word, is the corruption. Okay, so it would be a stupid thing for me, for the honest, decent guy, to go and assume position which they previously have used for corruption, for criminality, for stealing. They stash their pockets and they put over there a decent person who is controlled as well from behind. So this will be like a total loss situation for me. If it's not good for them, also definitely is not good for me. What they want is, they want their way out of the world which they have created, so they can become legitimized in a world which they have created. That's all.
August the 22nd, 2018, it is. I welcome you to this video about, not really sure how I would even title one, but it's gonna be about, in 99, it used to be a small, tiny little city known as Zakopane.
As you see, is right there, Zakopane, right next to Slovakia, close to Czech Republic, not too far from Hungary, and even Ukraine. For this video, I excuse myself again. This is recorded inside of the immigration center, so you will hear other people. What the situation is like right now.
Zakopane is located right along, I should say right across Slovak border on the Polish side, on the Polish side. Not too far from there is the Czech Republic. Very interesting city. And like I said, I don't even know how I would title this video as, and you're about to see why. Sometimes in 1997, Mr. Kaczynski started, for a few years after the fall of the Soviet Union, Mr. Kaczynski was in charge, was selected as an individual who would bring over, motivate investors, politicians from the West, US, Britain, also France, of course, Germany and others, into investments, Eastern European investments. And according to Mr. Kaczynski, this is exactly what it all started. Mr. Kaczynski was selected for such a job because very reputable, very clean, stable personality in many ways. It would be considered almost like, well, I'm not going to say saint, but quite, church-going individual, family-oriented individual, with a clean background, something that Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, they wanted this type of individual to push forward this kind of issues, run the whole operation. And then so it all started in 1997, before before my first overseas abduction to Slovenia, which took place sometimes in 1998. Mr. Kaczynski was very, very detailed about this. He was like, yeah, you remember it from 1998, because they discussed these things. But he went ahead and he suggested Poland actually started, Poland had a very strong community in the US. They started to push trade between West and East already earlier, about 1.5 years earlier, even earlier, he said. It started even earlier, these negotiations. He was a pioneer in this. He was one of the first people, well, not one of the first people, might even be a first person from Poland whom they have, uh, you know, Poles from US and Poles from Poland connected to the Poles from US. They turn up for attention. And so this is what it all started sometimes in 1997. Um, this little town, which few years later, just about maybe 4 years later, totally took off. It kind of exploded. It's not so small anymore. It's growing very fast. It's a beautiful mountain town located in Tatras also. It's a Tatras, beautiful, beautiful location. And so, and a little back I mentioned, I don't even know how I would title this video is. It's true. It's kind of hard for me because why? When it all started, sometimes in this very little town, sometimes in 1999, Germans and Dutch and British insisted that they would just load me with the money if I would ever be able to produce the video which you're about to see. It would be everything okay if I could do something like this. They would load me with the money. And for that matter, these people have, yeah, it's a lot of strange things here in this issue about this little city, Zakopane. When they started some kind of deal, some kind of, uh, it's like a bet, like you go on a horse race and you bet on a certain horse. Uh, that's how they have created these issues, and they bet with one another, like sort of entertainment for them back then, maybe how these things would develop, would not, whatever. Um, what they would do is they would actually give me this like a little homework for me to go in the future and report about how it all started between West and East. Um, for that matter, they have done a homework themselves. I'm talking about exactly what you are about to see. They have done it themselves so they could compare what they have created back then, might be in 2000, whatever, 2002, whatever, with my work in the future. So, and according to this, then I would be rated and so on and so forth. They did not even forget to give me a few instructions on how to make this video. Like, once you get into the town, you start to record, and because you're under that impression, the memory gets back, you start to record and so on. You don't do under any circumstances what I'm about to do right now. Meaning, I entered Poland about 3 weeks ago. Um, First went to this to the Novi Tork. Novi Tork, that's located further uh, in Poland, not too far from there, maybe half an hour, maybe with a bus. It's actually the next city after Zakopane, but it all depends because I did not go to Zakopane. I did not even have an intention to go to Zakopane, but then they signaled me to go to Zakopane anyways. It's like they were not really happy about it. When it comes to Novi Turk, my witnessing, which is going to be in the next video, it's actually so detailed. It's actually so unmistakable that if I wouldn't be there in 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, under no circumstances would I possibly know things that I'm about to stress in that video. It's totally the same as it is here about Nadrezhen and a little city of Prushko. Basically, the area where I am right now, it's called the Bak Lesmehovsky. The same thing. I pretty much know the area, people, signs, stores, now even the trees. If the trees were big trees and they have fallen, I have even memorized that kind of stuff. I did memorize completely everything. So as much as they did recommend to video record this as soon as you get inside of the city, I did not. I did not because I kind of felt that, first of all, I totally remember everything. Nothing really escaped me. So it's not going to be a difficult thing to do. And the second thing is I felt kind of strange. It was like a lot of tourists going back and forth, and I didn't feel like standing on a sidewalk in the middle of that tourist city and go about MKUltra and stuff like that and Illuminatis. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay, probably what you see is Illuminatis, that's why I use that word, are the head leading the most influential politicians, and I have stashed in that same pocket also business delegations, head of the corporations, chief executives, owners of major corporations, store chains, and so on. So that's what this video is going to be about. Like I said, it started sometimes in 97, according to Mr. Kaczynski. But I first got acquainted with the city of Zakopane in year 1999. That's about a year after they first got me into Slovenia from Miami. And this was a very, very popular destination. Okay, a little more about Zakopane. Okay, why did Mr. Kaczynski brought why Zakopane? Okay, Zakopane because upon the fall of the Soviet Union, this business people, politicians from the West, Americans, Brits, Germans, French, did not feel too well about West at all. They were scared. There was a lot of bad stuff that happened in Poland, in Czech Republic, Slovakia, and so on and so forth. So they were a little bit paranoid in respect to this issue. Okay, so again, we have like a little town right next to the border with Slovakia and Czech Republic. And I'm not going to forget George W. Bush when he came to Slovenia. He was totally paranoid. He was like, the city where I'm from, okay, the country already is so small. You're talking about 20,000 square kilometers of the little country. But my city is like, just happened to be located on the south, right between Ljubljana and Zagreb, next to Croatian border, and that just did not sound to him right. And he insisted the whole thing be somewhere up north in Goranska region near Austria or Italy. In his head was just that people that were different, everything was different. In reality, it was the border that, the idea he created in his head that would be more close over there if, I don't know, he would need to run on foot or something like this across the border or something like that. This is just dealing with Americans, and it's plenty of it. As I go along, it's quite, a few things are quite humorous, and so, but definitely interesting. Just feel so comfortable that I think I'm going to do a very good job, short but good job on this video. I did not miss anything. I could go back today to Zakopane, and I almost know for every house when when was built, even houses, how they look on the inside. Even that I was not inside of the houses, I know for some houses how they look on the inside. How about this? All right, so let's go on with the video now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the city Zakopane on a larger scale. It's quite a big city, I'll tell you. And it's growing by the day. Okay. For the purpose of this city, for demonstration about what exactly went on here, I have actually created a map of my own, and the only thing we're going to concentrate really is on this street that turns into this street here. Okay, so if I do zoom in a little bit in it, I'm not alone again here, so I apologize for that. The name of the street would be Jagiellonska, which gradually would turn into, it might be Titusa Cholebinskiego, but it could be Titusa Cholebinskiego. I don't really know how to properly pronounce one, but this is the street that I'm talking about. Okay, so I did make a map of my own for a really good demonstration. It's the street we're talking about, the only street we're talking about, no other streets. As far as I remember, American politicians, now this is something I don't actually have any personal information on that. However, they did gesture me that in '97 it first started in this area here. This was the initial area where they started, and that was right next to a bus train station. The bus and train station are kind of together. A bus station, train station. They are together. In that area right here, it's what they claim it all started sometimes in 1997. However, I cannot give a personal account, any account on this area here. What I will do, however, is I will concentrate on these three areas of this particular street here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off right here. It's gonna be known as area 1. We're gonna move to what is known, what I marked as area 2, and finally as area 3. Now this marks individual years. This here would mark 99, maybe even 2000. This here, what you see, would be 2001, 2002, and definitely right next to police station, they have built themselves a hotel, and right next to hotel, they have built themselves also a water park. This was the final area 3, and if they would stay here in Zakopane, they would stay on this location right here. That was area number 3. It's also interesting background why here and why it went like that. Actually, I don't know, I cannot give any account of that. What I can tell you is what you see here, when it all first started, it was like secret. In other words, locals would not even know what exactly went on, according to American politicians. And you are talking about head people, business people, you know, major corporations, chief executives, owners, and so on. Leclerc. We have a Tesco here in this little town here. It's a British company. Interspar and so on. When it all first started, it was very, very dangerous because they did not know the politicians who would, Mr. Kaczynski, who would handle these matters. They hardly could guarantee like a total safety for the people here. You have to keep in mind that this was like a long time Poland was occupied by Soviet Union, and there was a lot of fanatics who could pose a threat to the people like this from the West. They have seen as them as Nazis, as a fascists, and so on. And you're talking about USSR, um, occupied Poland. You have all kinds of people here that some turned into communism, others um, might have remained here from USSR era. You may have other nationalities and so on. So it was risky. It was risky in a way, and they did treat this. Polish authorities, top authorities. You're talking about the top authorities. Did treat this with extreme caution. Okay, this final destination again. This is where police station was and is located. Still is located here. Um, for obvious reasons is why they have moved to this area here. Okay, so it should be interesting.